Well, hello, Kitty. Look who's here. All our fans are out there. I guess it's time to indulge me. I recently picked up 3 new large toothpicks. Well, 2 large toothpicks and a fish knife. And well, these are the patterns that I really like the most, so I thought I would talk about them. And by new, it's really new to me. They're really not that new. 2 of them are definitely new old stock. One of them is definitely used. In any case, let me talk about the knives that I recently picked up. And as you can see, there's actually 6 knives in front of you, not 3, but 3 of these are new to me. And so without going on and on and on, let's get started. Well, first of all, you see these 2 knives. They are nearly identical. They are both RR917 Stoneworks large toothpicks in the Stoneworks lineup. These were the original Stoneworks knives, not the current Stoneworks knives, which are malachite and pearl. These actually, the original Stoneworks lineup had abalone or black pearl or white pearl in them, along with synthetic turquoise, jasper, and bloody basin jasper, all synthetic stones, with the exception of the genuine abalone or pearl. And these, I've got the entire set of the Rough Ryder Stoneworks knives. I'll link over to that video. In any case, one of my favorite patterns, and when I was able to pick up a second of them, a second Stoneworks large toothpick, I immediately grabbed it and decided one of these knives was going to be the knife that I would start carrying as my Sunday go-to-meeting knife. Originally it was going to be this one. This is the second one I picked up, but I actually like the abalone and the second one better. And I also like the spider webbing on the turquoise better in the second one. So I believe this one will end up going into the collection, and this one will end up going into my pocket for my Sunday carry and special occasion carry. Really nice knife. Like I said, it was new old stock. Blades are as tight as could be. All the stones are glued on there well. Notice they're not pinned, they are really just glued. But I know how to repair them if they fall off. And it'll also be nice to see if the stones actually do fall off. They're already been there for 10 years, but they haven't been carried. So now I will be carrying this one at least 52 times this year, because I'll be carrying it every Sunday plus any kind of special occasion. So that's going to swap out with my regular carry knife, which is the Marbles ram horn toothpick. This will also be going into the pocket, along with a couple other knives. And a lot of people slip carry. I do not slip carry, but there is also nothing else in the pocket with my large toothpick other than the large toothpick, so I don't have to worry too much about it getting scratched up or anything. In any case, yeah, this one will be my special occasion carry knife now. And this is actually a knife that is low enough in price that I can use it without worrying about it, and it's also big enough to actually accomplish something, as opposed to a small toothpick or a peanut or something. This is definitely going to be able to handle larger tasks. So we'll move these down here now and move on with other things. We'll talk about this one, I guess. If you notice, this one almost looks exactly like the Stoneworks series, except this was by Schrade, and I think they called this their custom shop. And notice the stones are very similar. They have the bloody basin jasper, the yellow jasper, and the blue turquoise. And this one has a black pearl in the center. But otherwise, looks almost identical to the Rough Ryder Stoneworks series, and really a nice set of knives, and they complement each other quite well. this was, you know, another large toothpick. I've got a couple knives in the custom series, and I'll tell you right now, both of these series now, they're going in the $30 to $50 range these days, sometimes even higher than that, for knives that when they first came out 10 years ago were going for $12 to $15. In any case, if you can run across them and you like them and you can get them for under 30 bucks, I would definitely go ahead and grab them. Let's move over to these, and then I'll save this one for last. Now, I did a video on this knife a while back. This is an Army, Air Force, and also Navy pilot emergency knife. This was in their bailout gear. And what it is a fish knife, or basically a bird and trout knife. And this particular one was made by Camillus. It's a 4-line Camillus knife dating from World War II. And if you notice, it has a liner lock there, a stainless steel, well, not a stainless steel, a carbon steel liner lock going across there to lock the blade in place. It's not the best lock. It's a little screwed up, but you can see there, a nice blade going on with it and everything else. Did a video on this before, how it came about and everything, but this is, yeah, one of the knives that was thrown in the emergency kits. And Camillus made quite a few of these during World War II. And what I came across is a second one here, and this one a little bit bulkier, but if you notice, also steel with carbon steel back springs and liners and everything else, and obviously a carbon steel blade. But this one is just stamped made in USA. Now, when I first saw this, it's like, wait, it doesn't have a lock on it. But if you look inside there, and I might have to take a picture and so you can see it a little bit better, but it did indeed have the liner lock going on with it. This liner lock actually starts at the top here, and it just goes down a certain distance, is bent, and then comes over. And what has happened is the liner lock on this particular knife broke. You can kind of see down there it's broken. Either that or it was intentionally broken out for some reason or another. And so this is another one of those World War II emergency knives issued to the Army, Air Force, and also to Navy pilots. It was in their bailout gear. Because this one is stamped made in USA, I suspect that this one was actually made by the company known as Kingston, which was a company that was set up by Imperial and Ulster. The two companies made a shell company called Kingston in order to draw government contracts. And obviously it worked. And most of them, quite a few of them, are just stamped made in USA. But so I've got a second, though damaged, Army Air Force emergency survival knife, and it's interesting looking at the handles. Both of them are using a plastic handle, but notice that the jigging will vary depending on the company. Notice they're both still marked hook remover. I have not cleaned this one up yet, but I am going to take and polish it up a little bit and make it look a little prettier. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Now I've got a second one, even though it is slightly damaged. Always on the lookout for these knives. I really like them. And this is one of those knives that I wish Rough Ryder or some company would just come out and do again. This would be an excellent knife for the Rough Ryder Reserve lineup, and I know a lot of people have mentioned that before. Speaking of which, Rough Ryder does have a new series of Stoneworks knives, but they're malachite and pearl, so they'll have a green section in the middle, and they have the big R on the bolster. I have no inclination of continuing to pick up those Stoneworks knives because they are so much different than what the original Stoneworks series was. Plus they have the big R on the bolster. However, if they come out with a large toothpick in that series, yeah, most likely I will pick up that one knife, but I'm not going to get any of the other knives in this series. On to the last one over here, my cheetah. Now I know what you're gonna say. That's not a cheetah. A cheetah is a swing guard knife made by W.R. Case and Son. Well, I beg to differ, because right there on the blade, cheetah, with a little running cheetah on there. And as you can tell, this was made by Frost Cutlery. And this is one of the earlier Frost Cutlery knives that were actually made in Japan. And it's a nice, wonderful 5-inch toothpick. This is actually the second one I picked up. The first one I picked up is this one. I believe they described this as winter bottom bone. I don't know if that's really true or not, but it wasn't the worst jigging. However, the finish was not the best either, though, because that pin was pretty rough. In any case, same blade edge and surgical steel, and this one is marked Japan. But if you notice on that stamping, that is very light, very, very light. And what I have on the second one here is an actually better quality made one. The pins are so smooth, it's ridiculous. And this is some of the prettiest frost wood I have ever seen in a Jim Frost production. So I'm pretty certain this is the way it was meant to be when it first came out. And I tell you, that is just actually beautiful. The grain in it is just wonderful and everything else. And the color is just really nice for that pack of wood, basically, the multicolored pack of wood. And the smooth action on this blade tops this one to no end. You see there again, Frost Cutlery. We saw the cheetah already. And this one is also marked surgical steel. But what is missing is right up there. It no longer says Japan. So what I think somebody did is just polished it off. If you look very carefully, when the light reflects just perfectly, you can see there was definitely something there, but you can't make it out. And I got a feeling somebody polished off where it said Japan simply because they did not want it to say Japan. Kind of like what people do today with knives that are lightly stamped China or Pakistan. They will go and rub it off because it is so lightly stamped. But man, there is absolutely nothing wrong with this knife, and one of the prettiest of my large toothpicks. I'm really happy to have this one. I like this one better than this one. It's a little lighter in weight. The finish is better, but neither one of them has been used. So somebody bought them to collect. And I tell you what, these are another knife that when they first came out, they were pretty cheap. But the quality is there. Blade line alignment isn't the world's greatest, but still, for a budget knife, this thing is really fantastic. And at the time back then, I believe Frost was either using AUSA 8 or he was using 440A stainless in these blades even back then. So really nice knife. In any case, thought I would share my latest toothpicks with you and what I plan on doing with them. This one is definitely just going in the collection, but this one here, this one's going in my Sunday pocket. This one I've got to do some cleaning up with, and then it will also join my collection of military knives. Stick around for a few slides, not too much, and I will talk to you again soon. Well, now, if that wasn't the cat's meow, I don't know what else I can do. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please leave a comment. Even if you didn't like it, leave a comment. Give me that thumbs up. Give me that thumbs down. Looking forward to it. And if you really enjoyed the show and want to know what's coming up next, go ahead and subscribe and ring that notification bell. Kitty says hi. Talk to you again soon.